Welcome, everyone. I'm Kate McKenzie, and I am the Director of Story and Culture at the Secret 3K, and I'm so glad that you could join us today. If you've got any questions for our special guest, I invite you to add a comment in, and we'd love to take your questions. It's always great to hear from everybody. And I'll also just share that if you have not yet signed up for the Secret 3K, it's not too late. You can still join us, and we would encourage you to do so as we run, walk, and work together for equality. So check out secret3k.com and you can get yourself signed up for this year. We'd love to have you join us. And for everyone who's already participated, it's been amazing to see your photos coming in. Follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, and on all the places so you can see the updates and see the photos coming in, because it's just so cool to see everyone joining us from all around the world. I have the pleasure today of introducing you to our special guest, Jaclyn Brock. And Jaclyn is our amazing national race director. She has also previously volunteered as our Calgary race director, and she's joining us today from Calgary. Welcome, Jaclyn.
Thanks, Kate.
It's so awesome to have you here, and really, without our volunteers, this event would not happen. And you are like the key. You are the one that's motivating all of us volunteers to keep going. So thank you for all the work you're doing. I guess my first question for you, Jaclyn, is what made you want to get involved with the Secret 3K?
So I initially got involved with the Secret 3K, I believe in 2020 as the Calgary race director. And I feel like it was a complete fluke. I had registered and then all of a sudden I got this very bold email from Kate asking if I would be interested in volunteering. And I was like, okay, I've got a little capacity, the topic is something that I'm passionate about. I could volunteer. And then that quickly escalated into me becoming the Calgary race director. And then from there, now I'm the co-national director. So yeah, year 3, and we just keep going. I think you're stuck with me now.
I'm so glad we are stuck with you, and I was so glad that I sent an email, because honestly, you have been such a pleasure to work with over the years. And and I think sometimes people think, oh, how do I get involved with something like the Secret 3K? And really, sometimes it's as simple as an email of just saying, hey, I'd love to be involved. What can I do to make a difference, right? And yeah, absolutely. I'm so glad to hear that. So Jaclyn, how are you going to be participating today? Maybe you can even share where you're joining us from today, too.
Yeah, absolutely. So I apologize in advance if there's some random background noise. I am at EMF Fitness here in Calgary, Alberta. This is the gym that has supported me and our initiative since I've been involved. And maybe you saw Jared's warm up earlier that Kate was able to introduce. They're just a great group of people and very supportive. They love the grassroots movement of how it all got started. And I mean, this is definitely a place where everyone is welcome just as you are. And I think we need more places like this. So my plan for tonight is we've got a small group leaving from here, just people that are involved. And we're going to go out and do our 3K in the cold, snowy. I think it's -5 and snowing right now. So layers are going to be our friend.
Well, you know what? I feel like that gives you extra bragging rights, that you can say you did it when it was really cold. I remember one year doing it, it was like -20 and we still went out, and I felt like, extra points, but it's, so I love seeing the photos when people have like the frosted eyelashes or whatever coming in. So yeah, you'll definitely have to post a photo for us afterwards.
Absolutely. I brought a banner.
Amazing. Of course you did. I love it. So I know that when you're not busy working with us at Secret 3K, you're also really involved with Girl Guides. And I know that there's been some cool things that you've been kind of working on to help Girl Guides be able to participate with the Secret 3K. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, Jaclyn?
I'd love to. So this year, I guess if we can kind of backtrack to my first year in Calgary, almost my entire volunteer team was made up of Girl Guides. And whether that was guiders or units, the girls themselves, they took on every role from registration to being on site to the little sparks that didn't quite have it in them, cheering on our crew as they ran. So
they were amazing cheerleaders, by the way.
Oh, they're so good. So this year, with it being virtual and with things just a little different, I decided to go about it in a different direction. So I actually created a unit meeting surrounding the Secret 3K. And one thing that was really able to help us kick that off was the availability of the Secret Marathon film being able to stream on Vimeo. And something that I greatly appreciate. I know I showed my daughter the entirety of the film during one of the screenings years ago. But now there's a children's version. And if you can maybe talk a little bit about that, I'm sure you can eloquently discuss the differences more than I can, but
absolutely,
that's the first part. So for the first part of our meeting.
And I'm so excited to see that the film now can be shown to Girl Guide units. But yeah, absolutely. So for those not familiar, the Secret Marathon shares the story of the first women to run a marathon in Afghanistan. And so it really was the inspiration behind us even starting the Secret 3K in the first place. And, this story has been so important for us to share and really a big part of our inspiration. But for a long time, the feature length is 76 minutes. And for our audience members that are 10 and younger, that could be a little long. So we made an adaptation of the film that's now 30 minutes long and that is rated G. And so it's, really a great piece for units, for any youth groups or schools that have that audience of 10 and younger, to be able to share this story. And we've developed out even discussion guides and things like that, and even given teachers and our Girl Guide units sort of some special tips in terms of if there's hard questions you get asked, some of the things that you might be able to respond with. And so, yeah, really excited that we have those resources available. I'll just drop the link in here at the bottom here that you can see that, if you want to be able to share some of those film resources, you just go to secretmarathon.com and we have some of those pieces available, like those discussion guides. But I'm so pumped that that's now being used by yourself, Jaclyn, with our Girl Guide units. So tell me a little bit more. What else? What are the things that we've been checking up?
So we're going to start with our gathering activity as our girls check in by doing a poster challenge. So the girls get to use their own materials and create a poster to encourage others and support any athletes, like they would be if we were having a live event. But in this scenario, they can do it for themselves, they can do it for their unit members, and just help create that community that is supportive of each other. From there, I'm going to do a quick little intro to our screening. And oh my goodness, when I told the girls that we were going to watch a short film last week, they, honest to goodness, jumped up and down. So I don't know if they're going to take away anything else from my plan, but they'll enjoy that part.
Amazing.
That being said, I know my girls love to move. So after sitting for a while, using the resources that you just put up, we pulled some of the Q&A discussion points. So I have some age-appropriate questions ready for the girls, and I just want to have an honest discussion and see how they're feeling and see kind of where they're at with things. I think prompting them in those ways of the differences that they may see in running in Canada versus Afghanistan, or how the women were treated unfairly, and starting to recognize the behaviors and what is surrounding that and things that we can do to change the narrative and support each other in that. I think those are high level, something that you can discuss at any age to promote awareness and promote equality, as well as just, what challenges they might face in getting started in running or being active. So after that, we are going to do a movement activity. So I have them, we've got our little bits that we can equate to, right? Like say 3K roughly, I think it's 11 and a half times around a soccer field for those that, don't really know their distance or don't know how to get started in a 3K. So I'm actually going to have the girls pace out our meeting room. And that ties in directly to the ability of how Zainab was unable to train outside publicly. And so she just had to keep doing laps. So once they can figure out their steps for their lap, we're going to do some quick math, fingers crossed, and figure out how many times they would have to do that in our meeting area to get to that
Love that.
3K, let alone the marathon distance that was presented in the film. The final thing we're going to do for our night is a goal setting challenge. And I'm the type of person that thrives off of goals. And I think that getting this across even to our youth to start building out those and start looking at challenges differently is very positive. And again, it's all age appropriate. I think that this kind of programming you can manipulate to suit, from our adorable 6-year-old Sparks up to our Pathfinders and Rangers that are quite independent and are looking for something that they can do more on their own. But I want the girls at the end of our meeting to have a physical goal and then a leadership goal. So yeah, that's gonna be kind of our meeting. It's actually being ran tonight for the first time in another unit. That's using the plan. So hopefully I get some good feedback and then I can tweak it as necessary. But for myself, I would love as a goal for next year for that to be public on our Girl Guides of Canada platform so that any guiders across Canada could have that at a glance and just run it.
That's so cool. And I just want to share too that if there are other Girl Guide unit leaders that are interested in participating with their units, we have a whole program for Girl Guides that you can find at secret3k.com. That's also where you can go to register if you haven't registered yet to join us. And I know, Jaclyn, one of the things I've learned over the years is that Girl Guides are highly motivated by badges.
Absolutely.
Can you tell me a little bit, and I'm just going to show this for our audience because we have a brand new badge that was created. So I'll just throw that into the feed here so that people can see what it looks like. And can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Absolutely. So yes, the Girl Guides in general, it's like, back in the day, you do anything for a Klondike bar. I think they will do anything for a crest. But quite honestly, I mean, they're fun. And this is something that they will have with them for their lifetime. These go on camp ponchos. They go on sweaters. The girls have done some amazing blankets. And for an event like ours, to have our own crest and have just really the awareness to reach out to a group that has been so involved with us and provide them the opportunity to have something so unique and special, I know it's really appreciated. And I know my girls are excited. Some of our other race directors across Canada are also heavily involved in Girl Guides. And the anticipation is real. People are stoked to see this crest. So I can't wait to have mine in my hot little hands tomorrow night.
Absolutely. No, that's so cool. And I'm glad that we have the opportunity to share that. And, that's something that's available and people can find again at secret3k.com. So if you want to get your own, it is there. And yeah, something that I'm very excited that people have. We did get a question that came in here from Rhonda, and Rhonda's asking, Jaclyn, a question for you. What about the Secret 3K event drives you throughout the year? Because she's right, this isn't something that just happens one day of the year. And I think also even for our Girl Guides and for our youth, it's not just a topic that's one day of the year. Can you maybe share a little bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, first, I would just like to say a huge thank you to our team. I think, I know I am so grateful to have the team that we do to keep us going throughout the year. So it's not just something that pops up every, 2 months out of the year. We have each other's back, but I think it's more of the messaging that keeps me going, and seeing the event grow and seeing what it's all about. Something interesting that I found is even here in Canada, girls and women drop out of sport at far higher rates than boys and men do. And it's actually shocking that in adolescence, I found a statistic that girls are dropping out, at a 1-to-3 ratio, where boys are dropping out only 1-to-10.
Wow.
And I personally think that sport is a great motivator. I think it can be used to provide these safe and inclusive spaces. But I also think that it's such a great tool in building confidence and showing specifically these girls that they can do these things. One of my favorite memories, and I cannot wait to get back to live events, but was standing at the finish line in 2020 and having these young girls that are, 6, 7, 8 cross the finish line and say things like, I never thought I would be able to do that. Or, the like, oh my goodness, I could do it again. And they're ready to go. Or, you see this spark and you see this sense of accomplishment. And
Absolutely.
It's one of those intangibles that just speaks to my heart. So I'm happy to have the slightest little involvement in that.
Well, and thank you. Gender equality, we think about it just as an issue happening elsewhere in the world. I know that we have been very much inspired by what's happened in Afghanistan, but you're right, it's an issue right here too in North America in terms of women's and girls' access to sport and encouraging continued sport. And you're right, it impacts so many levels of our lives. So thank you for all you are doing to help keep this event going. It has been such a pleasure to chat with you today, Jaclyn, and I really wish you a fantastic race. As both Jaclyn and I have mentioned, if you haven't yet registered for Secret 3K, sign up, join us at secret3k.com. We would love to have you running, walking, and working together with us for equality. Hope you all have a great runs and walks today. And it's been a pleasure to have you here. Thank you, Jaclyn.
Thanks, Kate.